It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 8 of The Walking Dead. In this video, I'm going to be doing a teaser breakdown for the next episode of The Walking Dead 805, The Big Scary You. So this teaser is not the promo. I already did a promo breakdown for this next episode, but on The Walking Dead and AMC's Facebook page, they recently just released a new teaser for the next episode, which I'm going to be breaking down for you guys. Now, there's a few very interesting things in here that I do want to discuss. A fight between Daryl and Rick, and it's not speculation or anything, you can actually see it, but there's definitely things to discuss regarding why they're fighting and things along those lines. So that being said, let's get right into this. So the teaser starts with this crazy zoom in into the trailer where Father Gabriel and Negan are actually stuck in. So if you remember, when we left off from the sanctuary, we basically got a zoom out of where Father Gabriel and Negan were hiding from the herd of walkers, and it seems like when we go back to that scenario, we're gonna get a zoom in, and it's gonna zoom in exactly how it zoomed out. So now we're gonna zoom in and basically get right back into what happened with Negan and Father Gabriel and pick up from the point of view of the survivors at the sanctuary, the saviors, and also Negan and Father Gabriel in this little trailer that they're in. So I'm pretty sure that this zoom in is gonna happen at the very start of the episode, and it's most likely going to be the intro of the episode. We have, of course, Negan saying a lot of people are gonna die because I'm not there to stop it, and we saw that in the promo as well. We hear the rest of that dialogue at the end of this teaser as well, but you know, it's when Negan and Father Gabriel are surrounded by walkers, they're stuck, and we most likely begin to see Negan open up about his past a bit to Father Gabriel. But then we have this scene of Simon giving a very stern and angry look at Dwight, so it's going to be interesting to see whether he knows about what Dwight did, and if he does, what he's going to do about it. Given that he is the second in command, he is Negan's right-hand man, and at the time when Negan is not here to lead them, Simon is the one that is the leader. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to do. And then we have this shot here. This is the exact same savior that Rick and Daryl were chasing in the previous episode, and Rick actually threw him off of his Humvee. Obviously he didn't die, but you know, we have them looking at him here. Daryl has a pistol pointed right at his head, and it seems like he's gonna shoot him. Rick is not objecting, he's not saying anything, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens between them. We have Negan kind of getting ready to shoot Father Gabriel, it seems like, or perhaps it's another method of intimidation, because obviously I don't think that it's smart for Negan to kill Father Gabriel, although it definitely seems like he's just gonna shoot him right then and there. But I think it's more smart to keep Father Gabriel alive and use him as leverage, and I'm definitely sure that's what Negan is going to do. We have a couple walkers here, and this is the surrounding of the same exact trailer where we had Negan and Father Gabriel kind of go into and hide, and I'm pretty sure this is like a POV shot of either Father Gabriel or Negan as they're basically trying to fight their way out of that scenario. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna get out of there, and I'm sure that this is a POV shot of either Negan or Father Gabriel as they're fighting their way out. We have Rick here coming towards the camera. Obviously he has the same kind of wound on his face caused by his fight with that savior that we saw a couple episodes back. If you remember, it was the same savior that was trying to protect Gracie, the baby that they found at one of the outposts. So this is the exact same kind of wound that he has. Maybe it's even a bit worse because he might have been punched by Daryl, which I'm gonna get to, but he's basically coming towards the camera and Daryl is riding the motorcycle away from the camera. And this looks to be the exact same road that they were at where we had that crash with the Humvee and everything, so it's the same exact road. We have this shot of Father Gabriel, and they're still inside that little trailer that they were in. Negan is most likely there as well, and it seems like some walkers have begun to kind of find their way into that location. maybe they broke a window or something along those lines, because we do see what it looks like to be either a walker falling into that area or a hand reaching in. And obviously Father Gabriel is shocked as well, and this may connect to another scene that we see later on with Negan, which I'm going to get to. We have this shot here, a couple walkers on the ground, and we see someone walking, most likely Father Gabriel from the looks of it, but it seems like he's just walking through the walkers, so maybe he used the same guts trick, put walker bloods on him, and is walking through the walkers or something along those lines, because we do know that Father Gabriel knows about that trick. He was there when Rick and the others used that strategy during No Way Out, when Alexandria was surrounded by the walkers. So maybe he's using the same tactic to get out of there, or it's also possible that this is Negan, but maybe Father Gabriel told him about that tactic as well, because I don't think Negan knows about that. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Father Gabriel tells Negan, and this is Negan and Father Gabriel walking through the walkers, or whether it's just Father Gabriel. Now, one thing I want to mention, this connects back to the other shot that we saw, where we had that POV shot of someone walking through the herd of walkers. We have this shot here, which is the one that I was talking about, Daryl punching Rick. So it's going to be interesting to see what this is all about. There's been tension building between Rick and Daryl, and they've kind of been building this thing up where they're going to get into a fight in some way, shape, or form. Now, although I did kind of know or predict that they were going to get into this kind of fight, I didn't think it would be physical. I thought it would be more verbal. So it's definitely interesting and exciting to see this physical fight between Rick and Daryl. And this is not the only one that we see. We see another shot of their fight even in this teaser as well. Now, one thing I want to mention is that I'm a bit disappointed, because this is very interesting and exciting, and I would have wanted to see it fresh when the episode aired. So for them to put this on the teaser, it kind of takes away from that shock element a little bit. So because of that, I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm excited and interested to see, what leads to this fight and where it goes. We have more POV shots of someone walking through the herd of walkers. Now in this one, it seems like they're looking up. So maybe they're walking up the stairs, and the wall that we see in the background is most likely the walls of the sanctuary. So they're most likely just walking up the stairs and trying to get into the main building. We have this shot, which is a very interesting one. We have Negan with Lucille, and there's a bunch of walkers that appear to be dead. And this is the exact same trailer or little room that Father Gabriel and Negan were in. So this is most likely Negan trying to find his way out, killing some walkers and trying to find his way out of there. And if you remember, there was another shot earlier when we saw some walkers kind of breaking the windows or something like that and getting in. So this is most likely connected to that. Now, we do see Father Gabriel's rifle on the ground, but you don't see Father Gabriel himself. Now, one thing, the rifle is there. Negan is not using it. So I think it's safe to assume at this point that when Father Gabriel went into this room and found Negan there, he didn't have bullets in the rifle, which is why he couldn't use it to shoot Negan. So that makes it a bit more realistic. But where is Father Gabriel? I'm not sure. Maybe he got out sooner. Maybe he's just off camera. But it's definitely interesting that we see Negan fighting his way out. And it's going to be interesting to see whether Father Gabriel helps him along the way or whether they got out solo. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if that happens, because I don't think Negan would just let Father Gabriel go. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We have this shot of all of the saviors. Simon is in the center there, and this is most likely inside the sanctuary, and they're just trying to think of a way to get out of this situation they're in. And obviously, like I said, because Simon is the next in command at the moment, he's the leader at this point, he is the one in the center and calling all the shots. So this is going to be very interesting to see what kind of a leader he would be, because in this scenario, everyone is looking at him like he's the leader. He is their Negan now. So it's going to be interesting to see the kind of character development that we get from Simon, given that he's put in this position. We see this shot of a whole lot of bombs, and it looks like these are coming from the Humvee, and it seems like Rick and Daryl are the ones that are getting these bombs out of their container. Now, it's going to be interesting because this might just be the reason why Rick and Daryl get into a physical fight. Because before, there was some tension between them, but nothing major. for them to get into a physical fight. So maybe they find these bombs, and maybe Daryl, being in the position he is when he just wants to kill everybody, wants to use this to blow up a section of the sanctuary or maybe an entire outpost, but maybe Rick rejects and says that they shouldn't do that. There may be innocent people in there, and maybe that's why they get into this physical fight, because Daryl wants to do it, Rick doesn't, Daryl doesn't agree with him, doesn't listen to him, and they come to blows and they start fighting. Now, if this happens, it would be realistic because Rick just found a baby inside one of the outposts, Gracie. So it's entirely possible for him to think about that moment and kind of realize that there may be innocent men, women, children, even babies inside these outposts or the sanctuary itself. And for them to kind of blow it up, they would be killing innocent people. So I'm pretty sure this is where they're heading with this, and I like where it's heading. It's going to be interesting to see how it comes on screen and how they showcase it, but I'm definitely excited for it. We have this shot of Dwight sitting on the chair. We have Arat in the back. Now Dwight has that interesting look. It's a look of, oh shit, am I going to be called out for what I have done? So this is most likely when Gavin is talking. So if you remember in the promo, we saw Gavin say, some people in here made everything in there happen. And I initially thought he's talking about maybe Negan's leadership and things like that. But now I'm beginning to think that maybe he is talking about a spy being in the group. And for Gavin to say that, he's basically saying someone on the inside had to have been working with Rick and the others for them to kind of attack this orchestrated like this. And it's likely for that to be why Simon gives this stern look to Dwight that we saw earlier. And, you know, just to go back to this shot here, this is basically Dwight kind of concerned a little bit because he doesn't know whether he's going to be called out for what he did and what they're going to do to him. We have this shot of Negan. Now he's looking down and Father Gabriel is most likely on the ground and Negan is looking at him. This is most likely after he tackles Father Gabriel to the ground. If you look at the promo, there's this one scene where we have Negan tackling Father Gabriel to the ground. So this is most likely after that scene, and it seems like Negan reaches out and grabs Father Gabriel's hand and helps him up or something along those lines. But it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between those two characters and what kind of information is going to be revealed about Negan in the scenes that Father Gabriel and Negan are going to have together. We have another kind of POV shot of someone walking through the herd of walkers, and this is again around the sanctuary, so this is most likely either Negan or Father Gabriel. And this is the other shot of the fight between Daryl and Rick. So you can definitely see this is Rick and Daryl. There's no speculation here. This is them. They're fighting. We have Daryl choking Rick out. Definitely seems like things are getting very, very physical between them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there and whether this is kind of related to the bombs that they find and what they're going to do with this. Are they just going to have them physically fight and maybe split up? If you remember, there was that one shot where we had Rick walking towards the camera and Daryl riding away. So maybe that's right after, and maybe they decide the best case scenario is for them to be separated, or maybe something along those lines. But it's definitely going to be interesting and exciting to kind of see this fight unfold and to see the repercussions that this fight is going to have later on. We have this shot of Father Gabriel holding a pistol. Now, Father Gabriel didn't have that pistol on him, or I don't think he did. So this is most likely when he flees that little trailer. So this is most likely inside the sanctuary itself. And we have Father Gabriel and he is shaken up. It seems like he is either scared or he had to kill a couple saviors, because obviously he doesn't want to kill. So maybe he had to kill a couple saviors. Now, it doesn't seem realistic because he's had to kill saviors before and he didn't feel this way. So maybe he's just terrified because he had to fight off a couple walkers or something along those lines. I don't think that he killed Negan or anything like that. So this is definitely either he killed a couple saviors or he killed a couple walkers, or a couple walkers almost got him. So it's going to be interesting to see what this is all about and whether we begin to see Father Gabriel crack a little bit. And then we see this shot of some sort of vehicle exploding and Rick and Daryl are running away from it. So maybe a couple of those bombs that they found were activated somehow and they were left inside the car and they blew up or something along those lines. But it's going to be interesting to see what that's all about and, you know, what happens there. I'm not sure if this is before or after their fight. It's most likely after their fight, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Now, they could have been distracted fighting each other, and that's why they didn't kind of notice some bombs in there, or maybe some triggers or something like that. The car blew up or something, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
I'm not there to stop it.
And then the teaser ends with Negan saying, "Because I'm not there to stop it," which goes back to what he said at the beginning of the teaser. He said, "My folks or some people are gonna die in there because I'm not there to stop it." So that goes back to him opening up to Father Gabriel a little bit and talking about his past. There's three major things that I'm very excited about for this episode. One is the storyline between Father Gabriel and Negan, and whether Negan is gonna open up to Father Gabriel and talk to him about his past. The second is why the hell are Rick and Daryl fighting and what's gonna happen with that. And the third is whether Simon knows about Dwight being the double agent and what he's gonna do there, and how all of the saviors are going to survive this kind of attack and being surrounded by all the walkers. So that's basically everything in the trailer. Now, before I end this video, a heads up, I'm going to be doing a live stream tonight for the next episode and also discuss the events of the last episode. Just like last week, I'm going to be doing the weekly live stream for The Walking Dead Season 8. So stay tuned for that. It's most likely going to be coming out either 6:30 to 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, I might be a couple minutes off here and there, but it's going to be around that time. So stay tuned for that. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.